What's up, guys? Team Stamp West with the last part of my sort of what's in the bag series, and we're going to talk about putters. Putters, for me, I probably carry the biggest range of molds, I would say. I feel like really when you get to that last 200 feet in, you really need to be able to attack the basket from a lot of different angles. So carry a lot of different putters that give me a lot of different angles to get to the basket. So we'll start with my putting putters. I use the Challenger SS. A couple of Jawbreaker Team Stamp Challenger SS's, but the Challenger SS was a mold Discraft release this year, and I really like them. They just chopped the small bead that was on the Challenger off, and so for me these are a little bit shallower than the Challenger without the bead. They just slide out of the hand really nice. Just a very good hand feel for me, and I actually really like the Jawbreaker plastic. It's a very grippy plastic. I know sometimes I get a little loose with my grip, so it's nice to have a little extra tact in the plastic. So Challenger SS is just a very straight putter. Maybe outside 60 feet I put it outside right chains and let it fade in a little bit, but really inside about 45 feet just right side of chains and let them go in. So Challenger SS, great putting putter. I also have a magnet, and this one's a little flatter top, a little stiffer magnet. I don't use this a lot for putting. I will use it if I have a straddle putt that maybe I just can't quite get enough power on with the Challengers. Where I typically use this is for approach shots. These have a lot of glide to them. If I need to kind of shape a shot through the trees, especially an Annie line, I can put this out on Annie, and it has a ton of glide, being so deep to come back and get to the basket or hopefully find the basket. But magnet, really a very versatile putter that should really be in every bag. A lot of utility, whether it's through putting or throwing, at full power. You can give these a little hyzer flip or even flat, and they'll go very straight to fade right. Just a very smooth right fade on them. Not a huge crash, just a lot of glide, very versatile putter. Good one for everybody's bag. Next up, we have one of my GMC Rubber Blend Nate Doss Challengers, and this used to be my putting putter and is now more of my throwing Challenger. I'm just a little more comfortable with these, having a little more experience with them for throwing, but Challenger really is a great putting putter as well. For me, in throwing these, they are just very straight. I'll use them for a lot of fairway shots that I need to go straight and maybe finish with a little bit of fade. I can put these out on a long Annie, and they're stable enough to sort of flatten out and glide back without just turning over at all. So another really good putter that you can do a lot with, a lot of shot shaping and get yourself to the basket a little easier. Next up, we have a pair of ringers. The first one here is my X-Soft ringer, which has been in the bag for a little over a year, getting a little more beat up now, has a good flex to it, but I use these a lot of times if I need to play a hyzer around something for an approach shot. Being so soft, it really parks well. It doesn't roll away. If I need to get up on a hillside, these will just sit, squish, and really park. The Crystal Flex Ringer is the other one, and these are kind of my go-to throwing putter. These are just very straight with a little bit of fade. I don't really throw them for forehands. I don't quite have enough stability for me for that. But a great throwing putter, stable enough that they're not going to turn over, like a Challenger or maybe a magnet might. So if I really need to throw a very straight line, especially a straight line with a little bit of fade, the Crystal Flex plastic will hold that for me. And then my last putter, which is a staple I'm sure in a lot of people's bags, Discraft or not, is the Zone. Definitely one of the best putters on the market for throwing. These are a 2.0 stability, and again, I carry two different plastics in these for slightly different shots. My X-Soft one is a little more beat in, a little straighter, can still throw it on forehands, but this is really my primary throwing one, is the X-Soft. And then I also carry a TI edition, which is a little stiffer. I throw this one a little more for forehands, but I use these for slightly different approach scenarios. So if I need something that is going to get a little skip, maybe a basket's protected behind the tree and I need to play something out to the right and let it skip to the basket, I'll throw the TI plastic. Being a little stiffer, it gets that little skip, and especially on hyzer lines, it'll get a little ground play to it, versus the X-Soft is a lot softer. Similar to, the ringers, I can put this up on a hyzer and it'll get a little flex to it. Doesn't get a lot of skip, doesn't get a lot of ground play, so it really kind of parks where it lands. Versus the TI, which will get a little skip, a little ground play if you need it to get to the pin. And so that is it for my throwing putters. Again, kind of a wide range from magnet to zone in terms of stability, but really gives me a lot of different lines, backhands, and forehands to really attack the basket. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully it helps you out, and thanks.